Lunch meeting? I thought this was a dinner meeting. I have the exact same shirt, but it's in a sweater and it's a completely different color, so it's not at all the same. The XL fit perfect before I washed it, and then once I washed it, it shrunk, and now it's a belly shirt on me. You know, when you do that's a test that I do. It's called the belly test. If you put your arms up and your shirt goes up above the belly, you can't wear that shirt.
Bad shirt. I agree.
It's the belly test. I've lost several good shirts to it. And unfortunately, the latest casualty is the Bruiserweight crew neck hoodie or sweater.
What is up, Bandic folks? Welcome back to the channel. Phil, today we are finally going to listen to the Poetic Edda. So ever since we first checked out the Malphasian, which was our first time hearing Disembodied Tyrant, a lot of the comments we were getting was like, you have to go back and check out the Poetic Edda. Well, I listened to the entire the Tower, the EP was called. I listened to the entire Tower EP. I really, really like that. We checked out 8.6 Blackout, which was mind-blowing again for us. It's crazy that they blew our minds twice. It shouldn't have been possible, because I feel like I was like, I know what we're getting into this time. But then the political message and the heaviness of that somehow blew us. We got blown twice. It was a good night.
I forgot that was the same band. They were so, I mean, not that they didn't sound similar. I just but like what you're saying, it's just
the impact.
Yeah, the impact was absolutely insane.
So for the last, I guess, couple months at this point, I've really wanted to listen to this, but I've wanted to do it on the channel with you here because people wanted to see what we thought about it. So what we're going to do is go into this, listen to each track together, and then just sort of give our track by track breakdown, and then probably our final thoughts on the whole project as a whole at the end. So obviously we're familiar with Disembodied Tyrant and Blake Mullens. We've been totally blown away by Disembodied Tyrant. I was doing a little bit of research while I was waiting for you here. Synestia, I believe that's how it's pronounced. It's a guy named Sam. So Sam Melchior, I'm probably saying that wrong too. They do all of the instrumentation in this project. And then they have a vocalist named Ville. I'm saying everything wrong today. He's based in Finland.
Cool.
I've been waiting a long time to hear this, so I'm excited to check this out with you. This is a 20-minute EP. It's divided into 4 songs. We're going to get into the first song titled Death Empress.
Holy cow.
Yeah, that's like, so when we put on 8.6 Blackout, this is kind of what I was expecting, right? This felt a little more in line with what we had originally heard by them. I really like the orchestral start at the beginning and how they kind of like sped it up as it went on, made it feel like super hectic. And then they went into that just like crazy shreddy intro. A lot of this song was reminding me of like if you were playing like Children of Bodom songs at like 4 times speed. Like,
yeah, I can definitely hear that. This is borderline like classical music, just with fucking just metal. Like, you know what I mean? Like the riffs and stuff that they were doing is like straight up Beethoven. Like that was like that was insane. And that was really, actually, to add to the kind of what you were saying there, the like symphonic element wasn't like cheesy. I know sometimes that like when a band does it, it could come across like, I don't know, corny, but that felt so natural. Like the song was so epic altogether that like it needed these symphonic elements, and like and that middle breakdown was like straight up like a machine gun, like and they utilized the vocals as like an instrument. They were like, there was like that one point they were actually like, he did like a scream and they were like like they were kind of like like playing with it. The end breakdown reminded me of a hurricane, in the sense that hurricanes have eyes that you think everything is safe and okay again, and so did that breakdown. It had several moments where I was like, oh, everything's safe and okay again. And it would just fucking happen again.
The dual vocals, like in this, just sound so crazy. And again, the way they use like effects on the vocals and play with them, like you were saying, the orchestral layering in here in general is just like so cool sounding. The way they're like tightening everything up, and it gives everything this like, yeah, like epic sort of like backdrop to like this otherwise like very like shreddy deathcore. Like it's such a standout thing with them is the way that not even just vocal effects that they use, but the way they splice like samples of things into breakdowns and stuff. Like I know it's such a like afterthought, and it's a type of art that has more to do with like the editing process of music and the production process of music. You know what I mean? It's more like, it's not something you do in the room writing the riff. It's like coming in and really like honing a project and doing what you can to lift it to a new level. Like, I also really like the interlude in this. It reminded me of like a John Carpenter soundtrack.
Yeah.
Like it's like, it was very serial killer coded. I really like that. Man, this band doesn't miss. Everything is so unpredictable and moves at such a crazy speed. Like they go from like these super heavy parts to like lightning fast, like shred parts, and then they go into these like sweeping, like orchestral, like World of Warcraft. Like this band is so cool, man. Hell yeah! What an intro track.
I know. What incredible. And like this is like peak deathcore. Like, woo, shut her down, boys. Like they got it. Like we figured it out. Like we got the perfect deathcore sound. It is Disembodied Tyrant, and they're delivering on all fronts. Does this band? I needed to ask you this because there's such a production value behind the sound that we've been talking about. It's like the overline, it's the subtitle of what we've been saying. Does this band play live? And if they do, they have to be able to recapture this live.
My guess, I haven't seen them live personally, right? And I haven't watched any live footage. I know that they play live, and a lot of people in our comments have said that they sound like this live.
Perfect.
So the thing about music nowadays is all of those sort of effects and stuff like that, if they're playing to a track, then you have to imagine that all these sound effects, all of these guitar effect switches, anything that's happening, it's all going to be automated at this point, right? And they just do their performance to that automated track. Some people have their issue with stuff like that. I don't. I think when you can give live music such an incredibly large feeling, I don't care that, there's not a real orchestra playing, or like the drummer's listening to like a metronome. Like it really doesn't bother me.
No, if anything, it adds to the entertainment value. And as long as you're entertained, that's what you're there for. That's what you bought the ticket for.
You didn't even need to do all that at the end. You just did,
Exactly. Yeah. That was cool. I will say it didn't really veer too different from what we just listened to. It still, was par for the course. It still had a lot of very similar elements, but there was some different stuff going on. Like I found that the vocal delivery was like more of that quick, like iteration, kind of like what Phil Bozeman does in like This Is Exile, where it's like, and I also really like, there was a moment there. I don't know if they did this in the first song because there was so much happening, but my ears caught it in this song was, that they had the piano going like with the riffing. It sounded really cool. It was a really cool element to that. I don't think I've ever heard this. And something struck me when we were jamming this song, that it reminded me of when I first listened to Selkies The Endless Obsession by Between the Buried and Me, how it took you on an adventure and how that was unlike anything you had ever heard at the time. It was like, it really took you through this like maze of a song. And what struck me during this song is this is the modern Selke's Endless Obsession. This song took you on this adventure. This guitar solo was beyond insane. Like the what they were doing there, like, Polyphia, sit down. Like, what are you doing? Like, this is insane. And this kind of just reminded me of Lorna Shore, like altogether, like especially that end vocal delivery where we had that like ungodly sounding vocal take. It had a lot of the very, very similar elements. They've kind of made a similar sound, but they've done it in different ways.
Yeah, I think one of the reasons you were getting the Lorna Shore vibe is because this is kind of the closest we've heard this band do to like a traditional deathcore song.
Sure, yeah.
You know what I mean? Where they're just blasting through it and then giving you huge breakdowns in it. There's obviously the orchestral parts and stuff like that, but as we go on, they're becoming more expected, obviously, when we listen to a band like this, right? I love that they sped up the Lord of the Riff style, or the Lord of the Riff. I did it! I love that they sped up the Lord of the Rings style, like, intro again. This song feels very, very chaotic in its first half. Again, I get where you were getting that Lorna Shore feeling, because they have, like, the string arrangements going with just the speed and just these, like, huge guttural vocals. Both these guys' vocals sound so wet. They sound so inhuman and sludgy and just, like everything's so, like, bile-ridden and just, like, gross. I can't imagine what those mics look like after a recording session. Like, they're just like covered in plasma. Like, it's crazy how big these guys sound. There's a very nice, like, gallopy epic flow to this, kind of like what Iron Maiden used to do back in the day, but this is what Iron Maiden sounded like to people in the early 80s. Like, this is what they were hearing, I swear. I'm also a big sucker for, like, sad violin.
Yes.
Like, I love, like, a weepy violin, and that interlude in this sounded like you were, like, crying in a tavern in a Final Fantasy game. Like, it brought me places. Like, I'm playing Final Fantasy VII Remake right now, and, like, I could hear, like, it reminds me of the menu music. Yeah, and that solo, dude. That solo was bonkers. It's funny that you brought up Selke's, because I actually, when I was listening to this, I was thinking of the first time when I was a teenager that someone showed me Hangar 18 by Megadeth.
Okay, yeah.
They're like, you gotta hear this. And it's just like, they're so excited for your reaction to, like, each solo. And then, yeah, breakdown at the end is just, like, Black Tongue as hell. If you haven't heard the band Black Tongue, go listen to them. They're, like, the slowest band on earth. It's so heavy. Love the pig squealing at the end. I love that weird, just massive vocal at the end where, like, I don't even know how to describe it. It was just like the death rattle of the song.
Yes.
Like, just everything crescendoed at once, including the vocalist. Like, I love this shit. I love this shit.
I'd be curious to hear a song by these folks if just like a symphonic element, or just like a slow, like dreary, like interlude that lasts maybe like 2 or 3 minutes. I would really like to see how they would play with the song like that, but maybe they wouldn't. Maybe that's not their style. Maybe the idea is to fit these parts into the deathcore stuff, but it really leaves the mind thinking.
I'd like to hear them do a ska song.
this is bonkers.
Yeah, this is the title track, right? So, I mean...
This is insanity. This is what insanity sounds like. Like, not only does it sound, insane, it bears repeating, you must feel insane composing this music. Like, so someone in this band was laying in bed at night, just like this
hearing
was the
a new
music.
layer in their head, being like, "Hold on," running back to the computer and like, more synths,
You know what I mean?
more didgeridoos.
And I want an army of didgeridoos. 50,000 didgeridoos.
Like, this is crazy. This isn't just like a band. This is like an orchestra of musicians and producers. This is just beyond a big. Calling it a band does not elevate or convey what you're trying to say about this band. It's insane. I liked the beginning. It was like black metal infused deathcore. We kind of got like a Cradle of Filth inspired, and then like the more I thought Cradle of Filth, I was like, man, this is like when I first heard Nymphenamine, how that was kind of like a journey in itself. But this was cool. And then that shred, I don't know, I wrote down shred breakdown. I don't know, I've been in bands, I've been around people. We all know that you can't have shred and a breakdown at the same time. Few can pull it off, but when you try to, it doesn't always work. This was perfection. It was a solo, but like I can't even describe it. Like it was the off and on switch that was just going breakdown, solo, breakdown, and like it was incredible how they wrote that. We get a new Guitar Hero game. This is the last song.
Yeah, this is the Through the Fire and the Flames.
yeah,
on Guitar Hero,
without a
sure.
doubt.
I think this one was really good at feeling more like moody than the first two tracks. Like if the first two songs were like World of Warcraft, this was like Elden Ring. You know what I mean? It's a little more evil. It's a little more like sullen. That first interlude in here was absolutely incredible. From the piano into the strings, having the guitar sort of come in. I think the biggest thing that we've been saying is that it never feels cheesy. You know what I mean? Like it just like, it sounds right at home with what they're doing. It reminds me of a band like at that technical level of like Rings of Saturn, but like everything's written in a way that's catchy. There's a massive groove all the time. Like they've hit this, like, you shouldn't be able to sound catchy and be playing this and with this many layers. Can you imagine mixing this song? Can you imagine staring at your monitor and there's 50 fucking layers of different set? Like mixing this must be a nightmare. The breakdown, the like main breakdown in this one, just berserk. And the soloing over the second half was crazy. That like didn't, you're right. You were right. Like it, like something like that normally is just going to sound too busy and not work, but they just like, that sounded flawless the way they executed that. Yeah, I don't know. This band just completely drips with like atmosphere. Like it's a very enveloping sound especially when you're hearing these songs for the first time. Like they really like demand your attention and take you somewhere. This is unignorable music. Like when this is on, this is what's being paid attention to. You couldn't possibly not. Oh yeah, sorry, I have to bring this up. In the final breakdown in the song, when it sounds like the vocalist is getting stretched in half. God, that last breakdown too was just so heavy, which I mean, like at this point, like that's what we expect, right? Like the song's gonna stop and then time's gonna move slower for a little bit.
Yeah, buildings are gonna collapse, and before you know it, Godzilla himself will appear.
All right, final track. This one's called Winterfell.
What is it?
This one's called Winterfell. Which
Winterfell?
just winter. Fuck.
Oh. crazy.
So cool. This band is so fucking cool, dude.
They're at the top of their game. These are the folks that are writing deathcore at like the highest level of it. I don't know how else to describe it. This was the song that kind of sounded the most like a horror movie out of all the songs. I don't know what that necessarily means, because a lot of the songs were very chaotic and heavy still, but there was some reason, there was something about that Dracula breakdown kind of going on in the middle there. And then there was like, I don't know, even the way that it ended with the cold winter, I was just getting like horror vibes altogether. It was just like, it felt like a movie almost.
I think it was the vocal choruses. I really think the vocal choruses just made this song sound so haunting, especially the way they used them right before the final breakdown, the rising chorus, and then using it in the breakdown. Most bands would do like the breakdown thing, and the stop would be maybe like an 808 hit or a little bit of reverb, but they had the wind and the chorus come back in a bit. And that it's, oh my God, it sounded like they were fucking playing it outside. Like it's, oh, it's so cool.
In comparison to the other songs, it felt that like it was a little bit more just like dialed back, but like by no means is that a dig. I felt like that this was a great way to end the EP, in the sense that like it didn't get lost in the shuffle. There was, like I told you, there was elements of the breakdown in the middle that were super memorable. The ending with the winter, the song being winter, I think they fleshed it out really well.
Yeah, the intro on this song was very different from the intro on the first three.
It reminded me of I Write Sins, Not Tragedy. This is the deathcore version.
Yeah, actually, on that first interlude that came up, I think we're talking about the same one. I got Phantom of the Opera from it.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, like I was like, oh, listen to this Phantom of the Opera ass interlude they're doing right now. The song had a lot of like shimmery noises on it to give that presence of like frost and ice. Oh my God. And dude, I just love the use of like the vocal choruses on this and the vocal harmonizing, like having that like chorus happening, like sounded like there were so many voices, the way they reverbed it out, like just elevates the song and makes it sound so panic inducing and haunting. Like the song, like it really like reminds you of like, it sounds like you're alone. It's dark. It's scary. And it's very, very cold. Like they just capture like a vibe so well. God, I love this band. I've been excited to listen to this. I love this. I love the Tower. We loved 8.6 Blackout. Like this really like has become like one of the most exciting bands. And honestly, because this EP is so strong and it sounds like what we expect from Disembodied Tyrant, but I really want us to check out Synestia, or however you say it. Now, I want to see what these guys sound like on their own as well, because like this is the work of like a few creative minds coming together, right? Now I want to hear Synestia's vocalist isolated on his own tracks and how they work without Blake Mullens. So we'll definitely be checking out Synestia. I hope I'm saying that right.
As a whole, it is definitely an impactful project, especially among deathcore fans and the genre itself. They are hitting at a high class. I think they deserve to be in the conversation within some of the other heavy hitters in deathcore for sure. I'm hoping by the end of this year that deathcore will break out of a little bit of its shell and Disembodied Tyrant will become a little bit more of a well-known name.
Yeah, they're really pushing this genre somewhere new, somewhere I didn't like. Again, like when we first saw the Malphasian, I talked about like I didn't know what you could do to this genre to make it sound new to me again, and they've figured it out. So yeah, no, you're right.
Yeah.
This is like, as far as I'm concerned right now, that I'm aware of, this is the most exciting band in this genre. This is the band that I like. I get genuinely excited when they release music. I haven't felt that way in too long about like a deathcore band specifically. You know what I mean? Like I'm excited about deathcore again in 2025. It's weird as hell, but hey, that's what they did. So hey, what can I say?
All right, folks, there you have it. That was our reaction to Poetic Edda by Disembodied Tyrant and
Synestia, I think. I think it's Synestia, I think.
What did you think? Leave it all down below in the comments. If you aren't already subscribed to the channel, that helps us a bunch. We really appreciate that. Follow us on all our social media platforms. That's just at Bandecdotes, BANDECDOTES. We're on Instagram. We're on Facebook. We're on TikTok. Check us out all there. We do all our updates. I wanted to plug, Tyler.
Okay. You want to plug me? The fuck?
I wanted to
dude, that's a very uncomfortable thing to say to me, dude.
If you're in the Niagara area and you're a fan of Bandecdotes and want to support my band Sinner AD is playing one of our last gigs that might happen in a while at a Legion in St. Catharines.
Oh, hell yeah.
In Merton. June 27th, mark it on your calendars. It's going to be a ripper. We're going to have a good time. We're not sure when our next show is going to happen because I'm still out east, but I am visiting the area, and we thought we'd play for one last time because we didn't get to do it just before I left. So if you're a fan of metal, deathcore, and all that stuff together, death metal, check out my band Sinner AD. We're playing at the Merton Legion June 27th. In St. Catharines.
The Merton Legion has shockingly good sound. Some of the best sound I've heard from a venue down here. It's kind of crazy. Check out the Legion. It actually slaps. Support Phil's band. Link will be down below. And of course, it is time to thank our boys. It's time to thank the boys. It's time to thank the boys. Okay. So we are going to start by thanking Ty. Get it right, idiot. He is a member of the channel. He knows what's up. He helps us keep this thing going. And then, of course, you've got the road rager, the man cager. I don't know why they call him that. It's a weird thing to call him. That's Aaron. Aaron, I hope you're okay with the strange bit I've started doing with you. Don't really understand what I'm doing. That's Aaron. Shout out Aaron. Aaron's the GOAT. And guess who it is? Coming from Top Ring. It's more
jelly.
More jelly. We're talking about that sweet fruit nectar. We love you. Thanks for being so tangy. So thanks for going so good on my toast and making my toast good and making me. You ever just fuck with like a piece of toast with just butter and jam?
Yeah, man.
Oh, you're doing it again. You're doing it again. I'm not editing that in. So shout out more jelly, more soy sauce. We love you guys. We love our members. Thank you so much. If you want to be thanked in this strange fashion that we do at the end of our videos, you can become a member. Hit the button down there. It's only $2 Canadian per month. Maybe it's American dollars for you guys. I actually haven't looked into that. I've been saying Canadian dollars for a long time. So I actually don't know if it's American or Canadian. Either way, I think it's cheaper than a coffee where you live. I also don't know that. I'm speaking out of my ass. Become a member, please. God, please. Join our boys and you'll be a boy with them. That's cool. We love that. Thank you for watching.
Cheers.